With a majority of voters having an unfavorable view of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, some are looking for a different choice. The Libertarian Party hopes to provide that alternative. Its platform calls for an end to government debt and no restrictions on personal relationships. The party also wants to repeal income tax, abolish the IRS, and introduce a free market health care system. Former governors Johnson and Bill Weld are running as the Libertarian Party's president and vice presidential candidates. They join us now at the table. Welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you.
Great to have you guys here. Governor Johnson, let me start with you. You have said it would be game over if you don't get into the presidential debates. You haven't yet reached the 15% polling threshold in order to do that. What are you doing to change that with the debate less than 20 days away?
Well, it isn't game over if we're not in the first debate, but if we're not in the debates, it is game over. I mean, there's no way that you can win the presidential race without being in the debates. But right now, everyone, or 99% of the press, is just reporting the top line on these polls. And if you dig down, about half these polls are including our name in this. And right now, yesterday, Washington Post, we're at... in 15 states, we're over 15%. In 6 states, we're over 19%. In 40 states, we're over 10%. So we continue to ratchet up. Will it be enough to reach that first debate? We'll have to see.
You use the word win. You can win the presidency. Do you realistically expect that you can win the presidency, or will in the end the role you play as a spoiler for one candidate or the other?
Charlie, if we're in the presidential debates, 100% of people will know who we are, and we think we have the chance to run the table.
And the reason
run the table. Yeah,
the reason we think that is we think we have winning arguments. You know, we're fiscally responsible, we're socially inclusive. That doesn't describe either of the other parties. No one would accuse the Democrats of being fiscally responsible when it comes to the budget if they get in, and the Republicans, you know, they made their platform even meaner than it was before their convention, to be exclusionary towards certain groups. So we think we got a 6-lane highway right up the middle, and that represents the thinking of about 60% of the voters.
By definition, Governor Weld, have you left the Republican Party?
Yes, I have, and I told the Libertarians I would never return. It doesn't mean I'm not friendly, but it means I get to ask out loud, why would any Republican vote for Donald Trump? He's anti-free trade. He's pro-entitlements. He's terrible on the budget. He's unreliable.
One of the things I hope we can do is drill down on the issues. Let's first start with immigration. Governor, you've said not only would you not build a wall, you're on the opposite side of Donald Trump, you would allow more immigration in this country. You would make it easier to come to this country.
Right, to get a work visa. A work visa should entail a background check and a Social Security card so that taxes get paid. There's a reason why there are 11 million undocumented workers in this country. It's impossible to get across the border legally.
So allow more people into the United States.
Yeah, it's a labor force issue, as no one knows better than Gary Johnson as a Southwest border governor. But Mr. Trump has planted this canard in the public consciousness that all 11 million undocumented workers are, you know, champing at the bit to become citizens. That's just not true.
But when you say you invite people to come in, you're talking about a legal entry into the United States.
Yes.
But the big debate, it seems to be, is what happened to the people who are here now, who are undocumented, are here illegal.
Yes. So set up an easy way for those to come into the door and get a work visa, as long as they've been law abiding.
Your point, Governor, is don't grant them citizenship.
Yeah,
put them in the system. Grant them work visas.
If they're working, get them a work visa, subject them to a background check, get them a Social Security card so they can pay taxes. Get them in the system and out of the shadows. That's what's so unhealthy about it.
Let's talk about the taxes, because you said that you want to abolish the IRS, which got a lot of people's attention, replace it, rightfully so, and you said you want to replace it with the federal consumption tax. How does that work?
Well, first of all, count on the two of us with regard to consistency. So consistency, you can count on us to support any initiative out of Congress that's going to lower taxes, that's going to simplify taxes. But if I could wave a magic wand, I would eliminate income tax, I would eliminate corporate tax, and replace it with one federal consumption tax.
You know what the argument is against the consumption tax? It is not fair.
Well, it's regressive, and the way that the fair tax deals with it being regressive is it issues everyone in the country a prebate check of $200 a month which allows everyone to pay the consumption tax up to the point of the poverty level.
One last question about a libertarian. When I first heard the word libertarian, it was defined to me as people who did not, in the least government possible, and a high respect for individual liberties. That was the definition of libertarian. Ronald Reagan said, the problem, government is not the solution, government is the problem. Is government the problem?
Well, I think that government is best which governs least. I think that is our credo, and the man who said that originally was Thomas Jefferson. We're just a pair of Jeffersonian liberals, if you pardon the word.
Oh, I thought you were probably a Hamiltonian, sir.
keep government out of the bedroom, keep government out of my pocketbook.
Thank you so much.
I think that's reflective of most people.
I'm curious, you're still enjoying this process?
This is my briar patch. I'm so grateful to Gary for getting me into this.
There's an honest man right there.
Yeah.
Well,
Loves the game.
That's the pitch we're trying to make here also is, we're not hypocrites. So we don't say one thing and do another.
Great to see
Gary
you.
Johnson, Bill Weld, great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you all very much.